Welcome back to an update video. We're talking about AMC, GME, BYND, FFAI, Bed Bath & Beyond, Company, and the community range FJET. If you're interested, just see it. As always, I'm using the Fractal theory. Explanation video for that I will post at the end of the video. Okay, well then let's jump into AMC. So, and before we start my tracking, two things. First of all, I will put today a lot. AMC is getting a special treatment today because I will put a lot of things in it. I will show a comparison to GameStop, which is important, and also an idea with SPY and NASDAQ, because it's also interesting with a comparison to 2021. And of course, for the bigger video, for one part, how is the Fractal looking for AMC, I will post the video at the end. Today, we only talk about what I said right now and on the micro tracking. So let's zoom in. So, and before I start, this week was the perfect example why you should always have an alternative which goes completely against your vision. So, I mean, if you are completely bullish and have completely bullish tracking, you should have a bearish alternative. Doesn't matter if you believe it or not. If you have a bearish version, you should, of course, have a bullish version. Just because you don't, not because, so you can't be wrong, because who cares? Yeah, it's about money. Just because you don't get surprised. This week is the perfect example, especially BYND. For AMC, well, we have three versions. One which is absolutely stupid, just an alternative just to have it, as I said right now. One makes the most sense, but we don't have time for it. And one which I have examples for it already, 2021 and 2024, which I'm really tending to. So we're starting with the version which makes the most sense. And this is this one. Yeah? Just because we had this earnings candle. And if you remember, in our last updates, our M was here, our T was here. Yeah? We broke both. So what is this? Yeah, this can't be A, this can't be B. Would have been okay. Yeah, if this here was our V, then we had this tiny higher low. I mean, this would have been the smallest higher low I have ever seen on AMC. And then we should have just broke out and run. You know, the 200 EMA is here, and we should have just squeezed. We rejected here. That's the problem. Yeah? So, with our rules, or with my rules, the only way we will see that in BYND also, the only way to fix this is that this was just M of this A pullback. And we pulled back already. So in that case, this was the peak of M. This already was L. Yeah? I already posted that, I think, on the homepage. This also means to finish M, we have to fall under this on 141. Most likely, I would say we will fall to the 0.5 on, so 133, 134, come up again. Don't break the trend line. This would become T. We fall to the 618, which is 124, doing the little higher low and squeeze. Problem with this is, yeah, I will show that also for AMC, but I'm still the opinion, whatever we are doing, we should be finished with our higher low on Friday the 15th. That's next week, latest. Yeah. So in that case, this would be a lot of price action, even for AMC. We have only 7 trading days. To do this till next Friday, it would make the most sense. But I'm not tending to this just because no fucking time. There is just no fucking time. Okay. Now to the stupid bullish version. That would be this. Yeah. And I would hate it. Yeah. I would hate it. It's going against everything. Just because this little thing here would be our T. We fall under V mini micro high low, way smaller than everything we ever saw. This candle here would be A over T under M. That's the next thing. We have to put M here, to that in a second. We did a 618. Okay, fine. We bounced, came up again. This would be our little B. Yeah. From our pullback here to here, this would be a 0.5 bounce, is working. We could even say that this here would be our little higher low of B. And we have to go up from here. Up, up, up. First of all, it's going against everything for me personally. Yeah, because little higher low. You also see the L would still work. Yeah, because you could say you have here your C, your lower high, your M, T. Okay, that's not working. Still working. But for your M, because M has to be here, the next peak is already too low because already A also crossing it is not working. So your M has to be here. But even if you say here's your little C and you say your L is here, okay, fine. Then here's your M. You have to put your T something in here, and to say that possible, but this is just guessing. And you have a massive place between M and T. So, nah. And B didn't went over M. So, but to have a crazy bullish alternative, it would be this. And in that case, you have to really start going tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow or Friday. No pullback anymore. Up. Yeah, over the 200 AMA and squeeze. Okay. Just to have it. Yeah, for me, this is really a stupid version. But I mean, why not having something stupid? Now to the version which is my main tracking now, which I have examples and to which I'm really tending to. And this is this one here. Means here's our V. Monday was our V. And this thing is our higher low. Yeah? To say this, I know in our last main tracking, our higher low was down here. Yeah, so we still would have come down here, would have done the higher low and go. Yeah, but I also have examples for this. Just before we go into the examples, I know we broke M and T, but first of all, this is micro tracking, and maybe I really have to add another rule for micro tracking, which is only for the higher low. I still have to test it, but there could be a version that this is an exception, but I still have to work on it. And to make that absolutely clear, I wouldn't show and use that as main tracking if I wouldn't have examples, because I'm not just, okay, fuck it, I break this rule. No, if I looking for additional rules or for exceptions, I have to have examples for that in the past. And we have to. Before we go into the examples, what would that mean? Same thing like the stupid version. There is a slightly chance that this wasn't the top and that you have to do a little uptrend still. That would mean you would go up here, but in my opinion, you wouldn't break 183. That would be your top of the higher low. Or the top is already in, and this today was already lower high, just saying. So let's go with the version the top is already in. What would happen now? So I'm still the opinion, we will finish this till next week Friday, May 15. In that case, we have our top, our C, this is our lower high. We now go down, come up again, M, down, up, T. And then we go to our V. Where would our V be? We have a few here. So if we just take the 786, it's here, 147. If you're looking for the A, it would be something under 150. Yeah. So in my opinion, it will be 150 to let's say 145. Yeah. As long as you're not touching or breaking 141, this is your ending of the last higher low before you squeeze. Again, also, before we go into this, if you break 194, forget everything to the downside. In my opinion, you go up. If you touch or break 141, you will do the most logical version I showed before, where this is just M, where we have the problem with timing. But levels are levels. If they're breaking, they are breaking. That's it. For timing, I'm pretty convinced we're doing this till next Friday. If we're doing this till this Friday, so let's say we are here and holding this on market close Friday. I mean, of course, you still have the chance that you're breaking down on Monday. Okay, but this is fucking bullish. Yeah, no financial advice. But if we are ending this Friday here, oh man, it could be something next week. If we're still doing this on Friday, it's for me, same like last week, no chance for next week. Just saying. Now to the comparisons. Because again, nothing I'm using as main tracking is guessing. Yeah? Left side, 30-minute today. In the middle, January 2021, from January till end of January. On the 1 hour for AMC. And on the right side, April 2024 to May 2024, also on the 1 hour. These are the higher lows. I already showed you. But what we were not looking at, and yeah, maybe this was my mistake, is the top candles. Yeah, because this candle, same as this candle, look how high this went. This candle clearly in January went over M, because the M entity is somewhere in here. Even more better to see is 2024. Because in 2024, you have here your peak, your A. Somewhere in here is your L. This is your M, and this is clearly your T. Also here, this candle went over M. Yeah? That's why, that's the main reason I even look at this possibility. Because in 21 and in 2024, we did that. That means, yeah, this could be higher low. That also means, I mean, we have the possibility to go to L, yeah, to 180. I think this was the top, but the possibility is still that we go a little bit up and reject here, and this is now the top. So, these are two higher lows perfectly. Yeah? In 2021, we went to the 786, and in 2024, we even broke the 786, just as a normal higher low. Yeah, that's why I have this price target between 151 and 145. Yeah. In 2021, this took you 2 days. In 2024, this took you 9 days. Yeah. So if we're finishing this Friday, bullish. I still see a chance that this will take till next Friday. And because of that, because a lot of especially meme stocks have this target for next Friday to finish. We will go into that in a second. One thing, because of GME. Because we talked about GME in the last video, that GME can or has to go up and not down, because down is bad for all memes. Doing AMC is going down. Yeah? I just want to clarify that, to show that again. Yeah. So here, left side 4-hour AMC, January till end of January, first part squeeze in 2021. Same on the right side, 4-hour GME from April 2020 till the peak. What you see here is, because they are synchronized in the squeeze, especially, or even more accurate is, they are synchronized in their last moves. If you look here, on Wednesday, 27 January, AMC peaked in its first squeeze. Same thing for GME, peaked Wednesday, 27, 2021. But what did GME do when AMC finished its A and higher low, the thing I showed you before, yeah, in this range here? GME was already squeezing. Here. You see that? Yeah. So for GME, it doesn't have to be one-to-one, but for GME, you should already see something. It should start really fucking running. So yeah, GME can be massive green, while AMC is still finishing its high low. Yeah? Just for a little look in the past. So one last thing for AMC and GME and all other meme stocks, because it's just an idea for me. Yeah. So this, everything here is no financial advice. Just saying, this is SPY. Yeah. And why I have next week, May 13, May 15, for the memes and some other stocks to finding their last low. Yeah. I have for SPY that we will run till next week, Wednesday to Friday. From here, if you're now doing little pullbacks or not, doesn't matter. But I have for next week, Friday, latest, the A, the peak. This is all A. And the thing is, my peak is 750. Yeah, just to explain that it's a really good story. The question is if it's right or not. Yeah? The low was here March, end of March. Since then we have fucking war. Yeah, I mean, everyone is saying war is fucking bearish for stock market. I don't know why, because you saw so many times that war is fucking bullish for market. And I mean, is this bearish? Yeah. I mean, you could even say that every fucking pullback we had little peace talks. But okay. So in my story, because you know, always there has to be news. Yeah. In my story, you will get Wednesday, first to Friday, next week, the peace, the real peace. So peace is fixed. War is over with Iran. They're already talking about that Iran is accepting that they are not building nuclear weapons or whatever. So here they will make, I don't know, sitting in front of the camera and, yeah, Mr. President, we are peaceful now. Everything is great. Yeah. And then SPY will knife because war is over. And I will show that in a second. Also in 2021, you had a knife on SPY wherein during AMC and GME squoze. Just saying. Yeah. Why I have 750? We have this wedge here since January 2026. This is A. What is A doing? A is pulling back 0.5618. We don't want to break under the broadening wedge again. That means from our low to whatever peak, we have to go that high that we're not breaking under the wedge with a 0.5. That's why, where is it here? That's why you have 750. If we pull back 618 pullback, we even go to 780. But I mean, 750 is already stupid. But I mean, to say that, I mean, that from here to here, that's only 2%. That's not much. in a full week. Yeah. Before we go into the comparison, just saying this pullback, I would even say only takes 1-2 weeks. Yeah. And whoever wants to tell me that's not possible, yeah. Here's October. In 1 day, you dropped 4%. 1 day. Yeah. We are talking now about, if we do that, 9%. Yeah. But I mean, look at this one. Yeah. Before I show you what that means for AMC and GME, just one warning. If I'm right, if this is the top, if we knife down, yeah, the target is 690, 680. This broadening wedge. Here, you decide if you have a multi-year bull market, if you bounce here, or if you fucking do a fucking crash with a multi-year bear market. Just saying. I would think bull market, but that's for later. So now with the comparison with AMC and GME, because here is January 2021. Yeah. And if you look also here, this is January, February 2020. Yeah. Also here, we pulled back in January till March. Also here, we got a V and a massive run. Even here, we broke all-time highs. And here is January 2021. Here. This here is AMC and meme and GME and other meme squeeze. You also saw here, in the moment AMC and GME is close, we had a 5% pullback. Yeah. So it makes sense. And also one thing, next Friday, the 15th, I think Powell is going, fired or whatever is gone. There's a pretty good statistic. Every time when the Fed chair is going and a new one is coming, you have a good red pullback in the market. Also makes sense. So we are looking for a pullback for the market. Next week, Friday, AMC and GME should be finished with their pullbacks. Market should do a little market crash. So it makes sense for me that, that whatever we are doing, it will take till next week, Friday the 15th, and we should see stupid things on Monday the 18th. One last thing before I let you alone with SPY. I also don't think that this is the top of the market, because also in 2021, the meme squeeze wasn't the top of the market. It ran still 6 months after that to the upside. So doesn't have to repeat one-to-one. I just don't think it. So, okay. A little look into GME. So for GME, also, if you want the full explanation, how the squeeze look like, price targets, and so on, I will link the big update video at the end. Today, we just look what we have done. And also for this, most of the things, nothing changed. Yeah, most of the things we already talked about in the last video. I'm just saying it looking fucking fantastic. Yeah. So for our normal macro tracking, yeah, this is just our A we talked about. I mean, there are 2 other versions still, but in the most common sense, this here was just A. We already did the pullback, yeah, and now we should go up. I also explained in the last video, if you break the 786 for GME, that's bad. If you go under 2132, your least problem is 17. Yeah, because then all synchronized memes are done too. AMC is knifing to new lows, and so on and so on. Yeah? Or you're just saying, no, we don't like synchronization suddenly anymore. We liked it the last 5 years, but right now, no. Yeah. Otherwise, no. Yeah. But right now, I mean, I don't know what the problem is for GME, because we did a 618 pullback. We have a beautiful C, lower high, midpoint, T, V. This is already our little A, upside. and we should really start upside. I would even say tomorrow. Yeah. And there's not really much to say technically anymore. But one last thing, because if you are even if you are a fundamental guy, I mean, I know, you know me, yeah. For me, fundamentals is just blah blah, nothing more, yeah. Because the news is always written for the move. The move is not happening because of the news, in my opinion. Yeah, but I mean, isn't that the perfect example? We're getting eBay news. Everything is great. Run. Then on Monday, Ryan Cohen is sitting in the interview with CBNC or something like that. Huh? And he really hates this guy. You saw that. You saw the hatred in his eyes. He really hated these people. I mean, it was a really bad interview. Yeah. And of course, the dog is fucking knifing. On the next day, he's doing another interview with Charles, I think. Yeah. And he really likes that guy. I mean, he wasn't really talking much. It's the same information like in the video in the interview before, but he was more happy, more friendly because he likes the guy. And we go up. Makes sense, right? Nothing changed, but we went up. And now because of the fundamental things, yeah. So, if you're not interested, because this is just, in my opinion, explanation why fundamentals, buying, selling doesn't matter. Yeah, you can jump to beyond if you want. Yeah, this will take 2-3 minutes. First of all, because the news, Michael Burry sold. It's fucking over because this man is never, ever wrong. First of all, Michael Burry already bought GameStop in 2020. And Michael Burry sold GameStop in December 2020 because of whatever news, directly before the squeeze. Very good trader, right? Michael Burry sold now to do again. Could be coincidence, maybe. Yeah. Next thing, Michael Burry, everything of his trades are perfect because he predicted every market crash, like 2008, for example. Just a little information. Yeah, Michael Burry is right about 2008. But the problem with this is he started with the market to crash, I think, in 2003. And he betted money on that for 5 fucking years before the market is crashing. I mean, when I sit here and tell you, guys, the market will crash. And in 8 years in the future, the market crash, and I'm sitting, I told you. Do you would say to me, yeah, the guy was right? Really? Same last thing to Michael Burry. He predicted Nvidia will crash, I think, a few years ago. Well, it went to all-time highs. Michael Burry said a few months ago, he has a massive short position in Nvidia again. Nvidia went to all-time highs. He is the perfect trader, right? So, in my opinion, no. And you have evidence for that. Second, because of the buyout of eBay. Because Ryan Cohen said he will buy eBay. 50% cash or half cash. Because he didn't say 50%. I think he said half cash, half shares. So first of all, I don't think he is lying. It will be half cash, half shares. But, I mean, maybe you read about the Paramount deal or the Warner Brother deal. You think that they would have bought these two companies on their own? Even in these deals, there were foreign investors. Even in Paramount, I think it was even the Saudis. So GameStop won't buy everything on their own. He will use 50% cash, 50% shares. But I would even say 40 or even 50% of the deal will be paid by other people. So to say this, to that games, and he won't say that. Why should he say that? Yeah, these people don't want to be in public, and of course he won't say their names and what they are planning. Yeah, It would be fucking stupid. Yeah. But next thing is, so he wouldn't use, maybe he even only is paying 50% of the whole amount, because the other 50% is paid by someone else. And then this math, GameStop has to dilute 2 billion shares. Doesn't matter, because he only using 50% of this whole deal. Next thing, even if only GameStop is doing that, yeah, which the math isn't working. I agree with that. Yeah? But even if the owners of eBay are saying yes to this deal, they are still a stock market company. So first of all, same like AMC or GME, before they can do anything, they have to do an investor meeting. The investors have to vote for this. So first of all, you have to do an investor meeting. That's not happening in 1-2 weeks, a few months. So most of the time, June or end of the year, investor meeting by eBay, maybe quicker. Then they have to vote for it. And then they have to make the contracts and so on and so on. And after this all is finished and the deal is sealed, then the eBay guys getting the stocks and the money from GameStop. I would say, even if you get the news this Friday that eBay is saying, okay, we can vote for it, blah, 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 this deal will be finished next year. So dilution this year? No. And you really think that Ryan Cohen, and you can like him, you can hate him, doesn't matter. He is a fucking clever guy. You really, really think he is making a deal public to buy another company with cash he already has, but with a dilution in the future? Really? It makes no sense and would be so risky as hell. So no, all this stupid thinking, now we will dilute 8 billion shares, whatever, and that's why the stock is dropping to 17, 15. Sorry. No. This is fear-mongering, makes no sense, no evidence, fucking stupid. But, okay, so, enough rage, sorry. Yeah. Again, for me, GameStop is up. If you touch the 786, you will go down. As I showed in the video yesterday, it won't be 17. It will be 15. And again, if GameStop is doing that, AMC will drop too. To be bearish on GameStop, but fucking bullish on AMC. I don't know where you were living in the last 5 years. And again, you will go to 1548, and this will take long. Yeah, you're not knifing to 15 and squeezing this year. You just don't. If you do that, it will be earliest next year. Just saying. Okay. Well, then let's jump to BYND. So for BYND, also big update. I will put in the update video at the end. Today we'll only look what we have especially done on earnings today. Before we look in this down in this micro tracking thing, just one thing. I don't know how long you're already watching me. Yeah, but the thing is, I am saying since weeks that our main target for our A, which is between 15 and 43, is July, August. And I said we can do something stupid. And this target, day target, could be lower high. But you have to do something to this. Just saying. Now to micro tracking. And before somebody gets offended, yes, I didn't show this. Yeah. So I was way too bullish on BYND. Sometimes this happened to me too. Yeah. So yeah, my absolute bullish tracking was wrong. I'm just saying that July, August, yeah, in the end is our normal target to reaching A. So $15 to $43. Yeah. We have to, if we're not doing something stupid, we have to do something till then. I mean, that's still 2 months minimum. Yeah. So yeah. So myth for the earnings move today. Yeah. Main problem is I already felt that. Yeah. But because I was too bullish, I didn't even listen to myself today. Yeah. Happens. But I saying again, running into earnings is most of the time not so good. Yeah, just saying. Thing is, beyond the move today, just we have no really alternatives. Yeah, also that move was just end of story. You only have two versions, and that's it. Yeah, we start with the main tracking version now. Yeah, and this is just this here. Yeah, still I'm saying this is the hour chart, 1 hour chart, and also for this move, I see the ending, the finish of the move, Wednesday 13 or Friday 15 next week. Just saying, this is not something which taking a lot of time. What is this? Yeah. So nothing changed about our higher, big macro higher low from October. Yeah. Peak was still October, low was still April 7. Nothing changed, still working. Target is still big A in July, August latest. It's nothing changing about our middle A. Yeah? We went over T, but we stopped under M. So this is still A. The thing which this move changed today, that this A pullback is finished, because it isn't. With this move here to the downside, we went too low. Yeah? Because we had this here as previous A. Yeah? But if you take from here to here, you see we went under the 786. A isn't doing that. So there's a stupid possibility, I will show that in a second, but for main tracking, this is M. Yeah, because you can't put M anywhere else. Yeah, maybe you put L here, this is M, then this is T. Okay. Doesn't change anything that you still have to come lower than 80 cents. You still have to. Yeah? I still think that this is mostly, that this is lower high, this is M, and your T will be somewhere in here. What does that mean? You maybe go up here tomorrow even, could be, because if you just track this little M here, let's do that on the 10 minute. If you're only tracking M, you could say, here's your M peak. So C, lower high, M, you're coming up, little t, down. You have to go under 80 cents. So this M is finished, just saying. Yeah. So if you're going up tomorrow, I wouldn't hope so much. Yeah, just saying. You have at least to go under 80. Yeah. You will come up again, in my opinion. Do your T then. You have to do your T of this A. Yeah. You won't break this trend line. And then you will fall into most likely Wednesday next week. That would be your low. Then you're doing your micro higher low till Friday. And then you go. Yeah. If you're ending in a higher low on Friday the 15th, that's a fucking bullish sign. 4 levels. I think where we go will be just the break or retest of this trend line. Yeah, the trend line from your M to your T. So from which date? December 2nd, February 27. You will come to that level. It's under the 618. Yeah. You could also bounce here at 78-ish. Yeah, or 76, something in this range. So I will mark that for you, because this is clearly your previous A. Just for this up run, here's your V under A. So this is the range you will drop to. Yeah, something here. This is your bounce area. Finishing the V under A. But again, nothing is changing with our no line. You are not allowed to touch or break 70 cents. If you touch or break 70 cents, oh, then we can really get bearish. Yeah, not thinking that, but always have an order. So this would be the normal, and after that. So if we do that, yeah, if we bouncing Wednesday, Friday next week, nothing is changing. Yeah. If we're doing something stupid, we can do something stupid on Monday 18th. Yeah. If we still have to do it step by step, well, then you will do your B. Yeah. Nothing changed. You will go up to $6, $7. You will check this trend line, 0.5 pullback, and go up to C, which is your big A, 15 to 43. To make this now clear, because I'm saying you can always start doing something stupid. What I mean with that, something stupid is just squeezing. Can we squeeze from here? No. Yeah. So I never said that, so maybe my mistake. For doing something stupid, you have to finish a move. What does it mean? Best example is we can do something stupid in the moment we finished this move, for example. So after our LMTV, we can do something stupid. If we're not doing something stupid here, we will slowly doing a step-by-step our B, $6, $7, $5. Can we do then something stupid? No. We can do something stupid after we did the pullback of B. So B is also doing an LMT, doesn't matter how quick it is. When we reach the V, we can do again something stupid. These are the areas where you can do something stupid. In between, it's very unlikely because you still, if you just hit your M, it's not just squeezing upside. You still have to do your V. Yeah, I hope that I explained that good. Yeah. The alternative, the stupid bullish alternative, is just the same like AMC. Yeah. In that case, nothing is changing. Your M and your T still stays the same. You broke T and M with this move, same like AMC. The only difference for this is that I have examples for AMC. I showed you that. For BYND, I don't have examples. That's why it's for BYND, it's the stupid version. But in that case, this whole thing would just be higher low. And we would be finished already because you see, we went under the 786. So for this, if you go over $1.05, so over this here, the alternative to the down or the main tracking to the downside is that. Yeah. In that case, this was the V. This is just higher low. And you fucking go. Yeah. But for this, you're not allowed to drop. Yeah. So really, if you touch or break 80 cents, you will do the normal main tracking. Yeah. If you from tomorrow on breaking over $1.05, we're doing, then this is just higher low and you go. So let's see. Yeah. I'm really tending to this. Yeah. Pull back till next week, Wednesday, Friday. Then we do upside or something stupid. Or we just start tomorrow. Yeah. All in all. Yeah. Even with this stupid pullback. Yeah. BYND still looks great. My target is unchanged for latest July, August for something between 15 and 43. And it's not off the table to do something stupid. Just saying. Yeah. So still looks perfect. I hope that I explained that good enough today. Next one, FFAI. So, and you know I hate FFAI. I really hate that stock. And it killed the version today. Yeah, again. For the tracking, C, lower high, midpoint, T. Hopefully V. Really, hopefully V. Before we go into the micro tracking, your next A has to be over T, so $4. Your next B has to be over M, $152, and then you're breaking all-time highs, of course. I mean, without forward split, you're not going over M. Just saying that. Yeah, you will reject here, death. Yeah. Okay, for the micro tracking now. I already said it killed a version today, and it killed the absolute bullish version in short term, because if you look from the V to the peak, now from our A to our peak here, this was our B, but we should have bounced here. I already posted that on the homepage. We went under the 786, so this can't be B anymore. It just can't. Yeah. So we did our V, we went up, we went under T. So this whole thing is is higher low. This whole thing is higher low. And for the micro tracking, you have here your low high. You have went down, you come up again, M. We knifed, we went under where M started, so M is finished. We got a pretty good move. I think it was even earnings or something like that, or the earnings is tomorrow, whatever. We went up. In my opinion, this is T. Maybe we go a little bit higher, but this is T. Next move is down. To where? To finish the higher low, you have to go BYND. That would be 27. The 786 is 25 cents. So somewhere in this range will be your bounce area. Again, you are not allowed to touch or break 20 cents. If you do that, in my opinion, FFAI is dead, or they're doing a 1-to-100 reverse split, as they already did 3 times. Yeah. So I still in my contracts because they are worthless. Yeah. But breaking this line and it's over. You can still bounce here and do something stupid. Breaking this line and it's over. Yeah. And I mean, maybe, yeah, I would also see the finish of this move next week, Friday, because it's also a stupid meme stock. So let's see. Next one is Bed Bath & Beyond. Just a little look because of price action. We are comparing 2020 till today. Yeah, we have our A, B, C, low, high, midpoint, T. Our low should be April 9th, 2025. Since then, we're doing higher low, in my opinion, and it looks like the higher low should be finished and we should go up. We'll look in that in a second. Next move would be A over 16, then B over 39, and then all-time high or something near it. Also for Bed Bath & Beyond, I don't think we get pullbacks, because if you repeat 2020, you don't really have pullbacks. Maybe it's running with AMC and GME, but I mean, it peaked already in August 2020, and when AMC and GME ran, it just did this little thing here. So I would tend to that it's not peaking with AMC and GME. Going up, yes, but not peaking, but could be wrong. The bearish alternative for Bed Bath & Beyond is, if we break down here and we touch 356, this is not higher low, this is just T, and you will do a new all-time low. Just saying. I don't think it will die, but it will take way more time. For are we finished or not? Thing with Beyond is, we have a perfect higher low, beautiful A, B, C, low, high, midpoint. Then this was the V, in my opinion, the finish of the higher low. Under BYND, under the 786 here. And since then, we also got a big, quick move into earnings. But we went under T and we dropped. So this is just micro higher low of the macro higher low, also under 786. And if we now go even closer, we did a little higher low, and this here could be already little a and upside. So all in all, just a little update on Bed Bath & Beyond. It looks fucking great for push-up, and the push-up shouldn't be slow and small, just saying. But everything is fine as long as you're not touching or breaking 357. Just saying. Okay, also a little update on Canopy. Canopy also looks absolutely great. Still, just for the little tracking, you started your IPO in your B, you went up to your all-time high, your C, lower high, midpoint, T. You fell down to your V. In the best case, in the bullish case, you did your high low. We come in that in a second. So our next target for Canopy is A, over 20, pullback, B, over 45, pullback, all-time highs or near it. For Canopy, I think we will see the pullbacks because we already saw that in IPO. Just saying. For the micro tracking down here, let's look. So we did our high on our V, our all-time low. This whole thing is our high low. Here's the peak. From here to here, under the 786, perfect. V under A, perfect. And we bounced. So for bullish tracking, you see we have here your V, we went up over T. So even if this is T, over T. So this here is our, in the bullish case, A. Yeah? From here to here, we are now between the 0.5 to 618. For the absolute bullish tracking, I was talking about also in the last videos, this could be already your V. Yeah, the finish of your A pullback. This would be just micro higher low. In that case, from here on, it's up. If you're pulling back from here, this could just be micro T, and you still have to come a little bit lower and then bounce. Here, it's very important. Here also, if you touch or break the 786, that means 96 cents. This can't be A anymore. And in that case, this thing here will be T. In that case, you will break here. You will go lower than 84 cents. If you do that, it's not over, but it's getting a little bit dangerous because you're not allowed to break the all-time low. You're not allowed to touch or break 76. So this area here, 83, 84 to 77 would be your bounce area. This, then a little higher low, and then you go. Yeah, not thinking that, but if we do that, yeah, because if you touch or break 76, this whole thing becomes T. And then you will go lower, whatever, and it will take longer, and you still have to do the macro higher low then. So this will be time. And maybe a reverse split. Just saying. Right now, it still looks fine. Yeah. Okay. And one last community wish, FJET. Starfighter Space. I mean, it's an interesting company. If you read the subscription, it's an interesting company. But that's the only thing, because people who know me or watching me already longer, they know I am not touching companies which are not older, not younger, no, which are older than 3 years. So no. Yeah, everything under 3 years is bleh, yeah, because you don't have enough to track. Yeah, or even a company with 10 years, which is just doing something like this, I also don't track. Why? It's or something like this. If there's nothing to track, it's just why doing the work for that? So for this, I wouldn't touch it. But I mean, you want it. So I have an absolutely bullish and absolutely bearish version. But I don't have confirmation because there's not enough price action. So first, the bearish one. I would more tend to this just because it looks better. IPO would be the run to be. Yeah, so in that case, you have to imagine something like this. Yeah. Then all-time high C, lower high, midpoint, started here, ended here, lower low, and then you started your T. You rejected the trend line 2 times already. Yeah? So in that case, you will go to a new V, new low. Where this is, I don't know, because down here we never touched it. So maybe we don't know how low it could go. For the micro tracking of T, this would be C, lower high, midpoint T. Yeah, just saying. Yeah, and then you still have to do the higher low. So in that case, this. Yeah. If you finish this V and this higher low, your next target would be then for A, something over 7, maybe pullback. Your B would be over 12, pullback. And the question is, are you breaking all-time highs or not? Now the bullish version. And the only reason I don't like the bullish version is because your M and your T are so fucking close. But I mean, maybe. Yeah. For this, B and C is still the same. Lower high is still the same. Your M is here, your T is here. Your all-time low would be already this year, April 13th, 2026. Since then, you're doing the higher low, which is working. Yeah, you went under the 786. You could even say that this is a micro higher low, because this is a higher low. So in that case, you should go up from here. Your next targets for this would be for A, 12. Yeah, so something like this for A. Then up for B would be 15 for B, and then breaking all-time highs or not. But no confirmation. For levels, I would say, if you break 723, I would tend to upside. If you break or touch 439 again, it's for sure downside. For me personally, no financial advice, just saying. Yeah, but yeah, again, I wouldn't touch it because I mean it's not even half a year old. It could be something, maybe not. Yeah, it's just a personal thing. I don't touch companies this young. Yeah, okay, but I mean, yeah, I hope this is enough for you. Yeah, I think thing is, for every other stock I showed everyone, nothing changed. Yeah, BYND changed a little bit, but the big target isn't changing. And GME changed, AMC changed a little bit, but the big target still stays the same. And FFAI killed it. Absolutely bullish case, but I mean, there's still a possibility. But in general, nothing changed. All other stocks, the old tracking I showed in the videos, nothing changed. Yeah. So let's see what happens this week. As always, explanation video here, playlist here, the big update video with every single explanation back here. If you liked it, you can leave a like. If you want to see more, you can give me an hour. Yeah. See ya.